This podcast is created as part of Podcast Lab by India Film Project in association with Anchor by Spotify. Hey everyone, in data science professionals, where we have invited today Aishwarya as our guest to get an idea about her journey in her data science professional career, or how she have evolved herself from initial stages of getting graduation till reaching here and working with one of the big company in the travel, I think, management field. So
Yes,
without wasting any time, I'll just invite Aishwarya. Hey, hi Aishwarya, welcome.
thank you so
Yep.
much, Akash. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Great. So, I think once we start or talk about anything, it's all we are working from home, right? You're also, I think, in the same scenario right now because of the COVID, and right now
Yes,
it's an Omicron situation. So, how are
yes,
things
that's
going on right now with you? Okay. What are the initial 2 years look like?
so for us at least, I'm on vacation right now, so that's why I'm not working. But it was definitely very difficult because at the first stages of coronavirus and the pandemic happening, we did not know where to go and how to get into this remote setup. And now after an year or two, it's more of the hybrid work that we have adopted. So it's like either
Right.
go 2 or 3 days to office and then work remotely the rest.
Right.
But yeah, again, like you mentioned, with the Omicron and everything, we are mostly remote now. I think the
Okay.
situation is
Great.
similar in India as well.
Yep. Yep. So right now, I think we all are in the same setup. I think it's almost 2 year for me right now working from home. Okay. We are just being invited 1 month back to get joined. Okay. But recently, just because of Omicron, it had to be rescheduled. Just like, yeah, great. This is current working scenario where you are in, and we are also kind of in the same. Let's talk about uh, starting about your journey. Okay, from initial, that what kind of your experience while getting into the college, okay, and evolving yourself from the first year, okay, and how things have grown, okay, and what your mind and thought will be looking towards the education and getting into company once you are in the final year,
Yeah.
right? So
Uh,
in that period we grow ourselves, okay. We are just open minded to start concentrating on certain thoughts, okay, that where you want to go, right? So how your
yeah.
thoughts are there at that moment?
Yeah. I mean, like most of the people in India, after you finish your 10th, you have to choose between science, commerce, arts, and all those different streams. For me, it was also similar where I knew I did not want to do science because I was really scared of biology and all those subjects which I did not like much. I
Okay.
was pretty good at literature and wanted to go to arts as a stream, but I scored a very good percentage, which is like 90 plus, and my parents were like, no, this is not somewhere where you should go. And commerce was something I could
Okay.
not really relate to. So I
Okay.
was very lucky that I got admission in St. Xavier's College, Mumbai, under the art stream, which had like a very good high cutoff of 90%. So I began my journey in the art stream, and I wanted to continue in literature. But in the first 2 years of college, as in the junior college, I had IT as my elective, as optional subject.
Okay.
And in those 2 years, I realized that more than literature or social studies or psychology or any other humanities based subject, my interest and my passion and basically my aptitude, which is very important also
Okay.
with interest, is in IT. And I used to
Right.
excel a lot in this. And I think in 2010-12, computers were like really emerging. Everybody had this IT or computers as a subject. So for me, I wanted to pursue something in this direction. And I was very lucky that I had taken math as a subject in my junior college in 11th and 12th. So on the basis of my math marks, I could get admission into BSc IT, which is Bachelor's in IT, for my graduation. So that's how I switched streams from arts to science, which is very, very unusual, not something which you hear today. Yeah,
it's not an often case.
Exactly. People usually switch from science to maybe commerce or arts or something like that. So I was the only person in my class who had switched from arts to science. And still I could excel in my subjects and in my stream. So I was very, very happy with this switch of the stream. And doing my graduation and after completing it, I like at that time in 2014-15, data science was not an upcoming field. As in nobody knew of data science or what data science is or anything related to it. So I studied
just a bubble popping up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I studied to become a software engineer, a developer, and I basically did not know of anything or going in this field. I was also mostly, my interest were mostly in the field of networking and security. So at that time, I think there was this like data science is a bubble right now and it's a hot and happening subject. Network security, ethical hacking, and all those stuff were hot and happening at that time when I was graduating.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, so at that time, I think my passion was mostly to do this CEH or Certified Ethical Hacking program and get into becoming a professional hacker or something. And that was the beginning journey of mine. Also, after my graduation, there were lots of college placements and stuff which I appeared to, which I did not make it through, or which were not recruiting for the field of interest that I wanted to do. It was not aligned.
That happens, right?
Yeah, and I didn't want to also go into a mass recruiting company and be on a bench or be like involved in a service-based company. So I did not appear for those kind of placements. So in the end, I was left without a placement after my graduation, and my parents said, okay, now you have to do a master's, because both of us are masters and our only daughter has to be a master's student. So and they said, you choose your college, university, whatever it is, but you have to do a master's no matter what. I was not very keen on doing a master's, but then I agreed with them that after I get a job, I will not be able to do a master's, which is very true.
Right. A bit.
Yeah. And I respect them a lot for making me do this master's, because after getting a job, I definitely would have not been able to study. So then I took admission in Symbiosis University in Pune for doing my master's in computer science. And this was just because the syllabus over there and the course curriculum was very different to Mumbai University. And they also had the specialization of system security and network security, which would have given me the chance to become this network or security expert like I wanted to.
Right.
After an year of doing the masters, I got an opportunity to go on an international internship program to Japan. and that is where I feel was my beginning, or the first touch point that I had with data science. That is where I was first exposed to how you can use data to do different predictive models, use sensor data to optimize systems, etc., etc. And this was very eye-opening for me. It was a 3-month internship where I had a project of creating text prediction. So basically, right now when you type something and you see those text predictions on your keyboard, that was something that I was trying to do back in 2016. So that was the first time I got exposure to data science, and I felt like this is really interesting. This is something that I would like to do as a profession. After this internship, when I came back and started my last semester, we also had a subject of statistics and data science and algorithms, and it was taught to us by a data scientist herself, who was employed in a company and working. So I could then look at her and see like, oh, this is some profession that I would like to take up and become. And yes, and this is how I began my initial journey into the field of data science and looking for jobs in data science or analytics and being interested in it.
Got it. So I think whatever you have said, from getting into from art to science, then even at that period don't have any idea about data science, then figuring out about the capability and the quality that data science bring to your internship, I think in Japan, and further elaborating and figuring out that this is the field that I want to go into. And data science, if we are getting into the data science, so it have a different part, but being a scientist needed 2 or 3 more important qualities, and we must have that, like we must be strong in the logical capabilities, right, to figure out that how we should tackle this problem. Second is that we must have an idea about the statistics, which I think you have chosen, right, during that period, I think. So these, I think, give our idea that how we as a initial, figuring out professional or students trying to get an idea and figure out, this is the process, or this is the area that where I want to go, and then making our directions stream clear so that it will be a more convenient. So I think that's a great journey that you have shared. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it is relating to something that is not there with our other discussions that we already have, I think. So thanks for bringing it out. Second thing I just wanna get into is that how your first job experience, in which company you'll get your first breakthrough, and what kind of, because as a fresher we don't get that capable job, which we will be more confident when we have an experience level of capability. So how's your first journey and how things goes there, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're very right in saying that, Akash, that getting your first job is difficult and it's full of rejections. I myself have faced numerous rejections, failed job offers, and all those stuff in my journey. And this was also at a time when nobody knew of data science. There were no openings. Right now, I think every company at least has one analytics or data science team or unit or something related to analytics right now. But at that time, 5 years back, I think very, very few companies had an idea of data science, what to do in data science, or even set up a data science team, for example. And most of the companies were looking to get into data science, set up their team, but didn't know how to hire for this job. because there
Right.
were no data scientists themselves, or the recruiting team had no idea how to hire for this job. So all these kind of complications led to a lot of rejections. And when you're a fresher, it is very difficult to accept these rejections, because it creates self-doubt on if you're not good enough, or if you made a mistake choosing this career. So I was
Right.
yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
So for me, in my last semester of masters, it was necessary to do like a 6-month internship, and I applied almost everywhere that I could find. Also, I had Mumbai as a location restriction, so I was like looking for all kinds of jobs, or any kind of company which would give me an internship for 6 months or a project. And I was lucky enough to come across a position or a contact person who was working in CDAC, which is more of like a government-based research company, where they deal with a lot of government-based projects, like maintaining the systems for different competitive exams like GATE and all those IIT entrances. So I was just basically given a 6-month project to build a dashboard from scratch, to get like reports of all these GATE data and stuff like this. So for me, this was very valuable.
Visual idea of everything available, right?
Yeah, exactly. So they had data of like 2 years of this GATE admissions, payments, etc. And then I had to create different kinds of dashboards, visuals, reports, which they can just like plug in every year and download the report or visualize it and see some basic stats. So for me, this was very software engineering based rather than data science, I would say. But also gave me a bit of exposure to data science, as I was like understanding how to create visualizations, dashboards, reports, etc. So this project as a whole was one of like a big project which gave me the confidence to have and show this demonstrable project in any kind of interview. So after having done this project, it was a bit easier, I would say, for me to go to any job interviews and show this project on my laptop or mobile, say like, hey, this is the dashboard that I built, I can do this, this is my ability, etc., and pitch myself as a candidate. And after like 2 or 3 months of being jobless, I think I understood the fact that most of the big companies or companies which are very mature, I would say, did not want to hire freshers who had like literally no experience. So I started applying to startups which were very enthusiastic about getting freshers, would want them to be very hands-on with everything and not worry about being a very specialized data scientist, I would say, and would want them to be a generalized data scientist who can do everything, like a bit of software, a bit of product management, a bit of data engineering, everything together. So I was very lucky to have come across this fintech startup called as FlexiLoans, and I gave the interview, showed my project, and got an offer over here to start as a data scientist, one of the first data scientists in the company. So me and another person, we like started as one of the first data scientists in this entire company, building up the base, etc. So this is how like I was able to get my first job.
Great. So yeah, I think it make a lot of sense. Okay. And once we there is 2 things that I want to highlight. One is that once you get completed your means studies. Okay, it's better that you get some hands-on experience. Okay, and I think
Mhm.
this will help you because you got to CDAC and build a dashboard and got a lot of insights there, right?
Yep.
So it's just about this is the interest and I want to be in this field. Apart from I'll be getting other offers and all if I can fight for it, but still
Yeah.
I want to be in the same same field and want to fight for it and even look what are the possible options that I can be as a fresher get into it, right? So I think the CDAC has give you a more confidence. As I can see, you have able to showcase to other, means companies that this is the capability that I have done till now. Okay, apart from getting the first job, and yeah, I can evolve more into it because my background also relate to the field in which I have worked the project, and I think that really help the flexi loan to have a confidence that this profile is something that will be adding value to my company, right? So I think
Yeah.
it make a lot of sense. Yep.
Yeah, I
And
mean, getting internships, especially in India, sometimes it's also unpaid. So it was also
right,
something that I waged upon because I was like, okay, even if it's unpaid or it's a low pay, I'll go for it because I need that experience. So
right. And this is where I want to go, and I see myself from the 5 and 6 year down the line. Right.
yeah.
Okay, great. I'll just explain a bit of idea that I recently got to know that the
Mhm.
job profile or the market for the jobs are very different that how freshers look into it. You know,
Yeah.
for the initial job as a fresher are
Mhm.
very low available in the market, but
Mhm.
once you have
Yeah.
an experience of 3 to 8 years, you get a
Yeah.
lot of options. Because for that segment, companies feel that yeah, he have done something, and he can bring a lot of values into it. Okay, and then above 8 to further years, okay, there is a senior level management, which are very low level of requirement, right? So
Mhm.
this is a peak period where we really, see ourselves growing and figuring out how we can be financially independent or stabilize ourselves in professional and personal field and further and more, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a I thought the journey look like. Now let's talk about one thing that you get into Flexilon as a first uh, data science uh, data science professional. So
Yeah.
how was the initial work? Okay, what kind of jobs you'll be involved in, and once you'll get an exposure further after 6 months or further process, how things are look like there.
Yeah, sure. For me, as in after starting over in Flexi Loans, also I was like one of the initial data scientists. I was like literally nothing built
Okay.
over there.
Yeah. Right.
So
Right.
first, I had to get an idea of
You are
where the
talking about
data.
the year, in which year?
This was around 2017. I had graduated. I finished my master's in 2017 and got a job around in July, August. So this is when
Okay,
I
so
started.
mid 17, you mean to say?
Yeah, mid 2017, I would say, when I started my first job, and
Right.
I had to get an idea of where the data is. There were engineers who had built the system, created everything, were storing data, but how to make use of this data, what kind of data is there over here, and how can I make this useful for the business. All this kind of stuff were
Right.
the things that I was trying. Also, there were different stakeholders above me who wanted different kind of reports, dashboards, emails that help them check the business health, etc. So one of my first tasks that I got was also kind of like
Right.
a continuation or a background of what I did in CDAC by building dashboards. They saw this ability of me to build dashboards and asked me to build them also a dashboard or a form of reporting tool which can give them automated generated reports. So this is what I did. And after this, I also started looking. So the other person who was hired with me was a bit more senior to me. in terms of data science knowledge. So he also together with me tried to look into how we can use different kind of data science algorithms for ranking and recommendation of different applications. Using, so we were a fintech company who did loan processing. So we also looked into how we can use computer vision for automating this process by looking into different documents, identifying different identity documents, extracting information from this, doing verification, all this stuff which are like very very easily done right now in the 2020, right. in this year, when we see
at that time it was just starting. So
yeah, that was at very very starting stage, where we did not get even ready-made packages. We had to write down every source code to match, text from the document to the text that we received from the form, etc. So yeah, all those stuff helped me get exposure to different fields like computer vision, NLP, ranking and optimization, etc. So I see my first job not as a job, but like a full crash course of being a full-fledged competent data scientist. So after I worked there almost for 2.5 years. So after this 2.5 years, I felt very confident in my ability to like tackle any kind of problem, apply algorithms, use data science in helping grow business, etc. So usually freshers should, at least this is my way of thinking it, that freshers should apply to startups which can give them this ability to be this generic data scientists who can kind of grow and find their zone or find the value that they can bring about by working on different applications and systems and fields, and find out what they can specialize in.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense that as a startup companies, it give a lot of exposure, okay, because they also in the phase of evolving. But stand-up companies will make you a part of a pipeline which is already developed and ask to maintain it. So at that portion, you have a box, okay, and if you learn out of this for different kind of involved. But if you are into like it might be for very limited time, like around 2 hours or 3 hours, but you get a lot of time to expose yourself to the more authentic findings, okay, in the data and figuring out how things can be done. So yeah, I think that this makes a lot of sense, and I think all of the available listeners, if they get into, okay, can relate with it. Now let's talk about the final segment, okay, and it's about your current, how your current journey look like, how you think above the 5 or 10 years, okay, you feel yourself and what you'll be doing in this field, and later what you think that freshers should be, okay, the base that they should build, okay, and the kind of exposure they should get, okay, so that they start applying, okay, into data science, something like that, please.
Yeah. So what I love about data science and what I like, what got me interested to data science is that it's not a very fixed, you do this and you build this kind of thing that you usually see in software engineering, where you write a code, this is what it does. I mean, it's very, very different, not just from company to company, but even within teams. Where I work in Trivago, each team is doing very, very different projects in data science, applying different techniques, etc. I work in the ranking and recommendation team, where in my current profile, I'm responsible for creating this perfect list of accommodations for travelers who use Trivago, so that they can find their ideal accommodation within seconds. So I deal with optimization of ranking and recommendation algorithms, and even trying out new ones where we get a better quality of the accommodation list.
Yep.
This is basically what my current work profile is and what I am doing. There are also other teams which do different computer vision and NLP techniques, financial optimization, SEO, SEM, etc. So I think as a fresher, it's very difficult to learn everything and be an expert in everything. That's like literally impossible.
Absolutely right.
And then there is also no particularly defined rule of thumb as if you follow this path it will lead you to success, or if you follow this path you will become a great data scientist, etc. But what I would like to highlight is that there are a few essential traits that most of the companies when they hire they see in a candidate, or is will help you progress as a data scientist. One is to possess curiosity, being always curious about things, learning how to do stuff, asking questions will always help you gain more insight. Having a passion for business and knowing how you can optimize business and get the best out of it can do that. And also willingness to learn and research, because data science is a very, very research intensive and different
Right.
field.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that message me on LinkedIn or ask me for advice are usually freshers on how to break into
Okay.
data science field, or what do I learn, or what do I concentrate on to become better, or what can help me get jobs. I think, like I said, as there is no defined path what you can of becoming a data scientist or getting that first job. But what everybody usually does, or you can do, which can get you some way ahead, is to learn basic statistics, which will always help you in your job, knowing what mean, median, mode is, and how different they are, and those kind of different stats is very essential. Learning basic programming. There are different programming languages like Python, R, Julia, Scala, etc.,
Right.
which
Right.
data science based. Just be good enough in at least one of them. Have the confidence to write a program on your own. Also, to learn basic data science algorithms, there are many YouTube channels, many resources, many free data camps, and all those online courses where you can learn linear regression, decision trees, or all those data science algorithms. Try implementing those using one of the programs. That gives you another level of confidence in doing this. And in the end,
Right.
you can also participate in Kaggle challenges that can help you do these case studies that other companies will offer you as a coding challenge during their hiring process. So this is something which is very generic that one can follow
Right.
to building up a good foundation and getting a job.
And yeah.
Subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon.